What's going on, you guys? Theo here with the big review, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and today we are going to be doing another intermediate/beginner's guide. This one is going to have everything to do with farming memories, how you get your memories, and then how to combine them in the Dimension Exchange so that you can unlock the full potential of your Seven Knights collab characters. So before we get into all of that, big shout out to Sakamoto JC with the comment of the day. He had asked me how I was able to get enough memories in order to unlock my Dellons to Awakening level 5. So that is what we're going to be covering on today's video. So if you guys want to try and leave a comment below, maybe asking questions or giving me suggestions for a guide or a topic for a video, I look at all my comments. I try my best to get back to each and every single one of you. So make sure that you do that, and who knows, maybe you'll be featured in the comment of the day, and maybe I'll use your idea for a future video. So let's jump right into it. And before we do that, make sure you smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already done so. It helps me out a ton as a new YouTuber, and I greatly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Before we get too far into the guide, I do want to show you your memory bank here and kind of go into how you combine these memories so that you can get the most out of your fodder. So as you can see here, this is going to be my memory bank. I am not doing the greatest on memories right now. I realize for some of you this may look like a lot, but before I awakened Dellons to A5 and had awakened Eileene to A3, I had a ton of these things. So how do you get these guys? What's the best method of going about it? So let's talk about it. First and foremost, you want to go down here to combine, and you want to fodder off all of your trash memories. So I don't know that I actually have any that I can actually show you guys because I'm pretty on top of this. I do this almost daily, but as you can see here, you can combine up to 5, and you can actually use this here if you have a ton of memories that you want to fodder off at one time, and you can go through here and combine these. So when you combine your bronze memories, if you do 5 of them, it'll give you a generic silver. If you do 5 generic silvers or 5 silver memories, it will give you, I can actually show you here, it'll give you a gold memory. So then you can go ahead and turn around and go in here and use that in order to get yourself a generic fess memory. So that is how you would do this. So what would I do in here as far as what would I fodder off? First and foremost, any of these normal gold border characters. If you're talking about your gold borders, then any of the generic gold characters, I would go ahead and fodder off. Like for instance here, I'm never going to use these guys, so I can go ahead, combine these, and I will get a generic fess memory. So in here, when you do this, you can actually get, it's a low percentage chance, we don't know the exact numbers behind this, but you can actually get a fess memory for a random fighter. That is possible. It's happened to me before. I've actually gotten pretty lucky with this in the past. So if you've never done this before and you're sitting on a ton of these memories, this actually makes pulls specifically when it comes to pulling off of tickets that are not going to have fess fighters in the pool, like your generic tickets. This is actually where you'd want to use those, and you'll get value out of them. So that's the first way. Of course, you'll need those in order to awaken your characters, whether they're generic or you get lucky and you get an actual fess fighter memory. So that's a really good way of doing it. That is the most optimal way to get a lot of the generic memories at one time. So make sure you're doing that as often as possible. But outside of pulling on banners to get characters and get these memories, how can you get more memories? Well, let's talk about that. In the exchange shop, first and foremost, we're going to look at the Hall of Elements exchange shop. So you can actually, in here, this resets once a month. And as you can see up top, it's going to tell you that mine resets in 20 days. So this is going to be random as far as the pool goes every single month for every single player. So no two players should have the same pool. You're always going to have something different. So basically, there's no way to control what you're going to get in here on a monthly basis, but you will get a pool of 5 different fess fighters, 1 for each corresponding color. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can use your coins that you get down here out of the Hall of Elements in order to unlock these, which is awesome. This was a fairly new and recent update, but I'm loving it. It's great. Actually, I had already redeemed 2,000 coins in order to get Orochi Iori's memory. I'm 1 memory away from being able to awaken level 5 him. He is a very great character, but we're not going to get into that. So that's going to be how you do that. I wouldn't recommend ever getting these gold ones. These coins, you just don't get enough of at a time. It kind of takes a little while to build them up, so I wouldn't worry about the gold ones. But speaking of gold memories, if you do want gold memories, I actually highly recommend coming down here, and you can pick them up here. So as you can see, this resets weekly, but you can basically pick up generic memories using the different items that you'll get, the shards from the different dungeons, and this is another really, really good way of doing that. So as you can see here, I can actually pick up this Yamazaki. Boom, there you go. So those are AS memories as well, which come in handy if you're wanting gold exchange envelopes, so keep that in mind. So another way, something that is not a very well kept secret, a lot of people know this, but just as an aside, once a week on payday you will also get this shop refreshing, and you can pick up a Clone Zero memory once a week. So that is a red memory for a Fest fighter if you are needing that. So that is really, really good. Do that every single week. Make sure you're doing that. That is going to go a long way. Other than that, that's pretty much going to be that, but you can also go in here, use some of your soul dust to pick up these AS summon tickets, which are really cool because there's going to be Fest fighters in that pool. So definitely worth doing these as well. I will typically do those not every day, but most days, and that's a good way to potentially pull a Fest fighter and then also get some generic memories that way. So that's how you do that. Beyond that, I don't believe that there's really anything else in here that I need to show you. The rest of these shops are going to be mostly just items. So that is going to be one other way that you can do that. Don't forget these 3 shops down here at the bottom. I feel like a lot of people do, and this is a good way to stock up on AS memories. So that's that. So let's go in and take a look at the next topic, which is going to be in here. So basically, you're going to see this is where the Hall of Elements, you will be getting the coins necessary to unlock those Fest memories that reset once a month. So basically, each tier is going to be a differing CP level required in order to go ahead and get through it. And really just go through this and get as high as you can and grind that, skip ticket it once a day or whatever the case you got, whatever it is. Just make sure you're doing this every day, because this is how you get those coins, but you also get boxes that will give you memories. And a lot of times you can actually get a Fest memory out of those. So if you actually go in here, you'll see like this box here, you'll see that there's several Fest memories available there. And this resets once a week as well, and you'll have a different color corresponding to whatever the boss is for the dungeon that week. But this is a really good way to get memories. You can also get generic memories out of these boxes, which is nice. So this is another big thing to do. Make sure you're doing this. That way you're capitalizing on those free memories. You might get lucky. In fact, if you go down here, you'll see out of the highest ones, you can get different characters. So depending on what tier you're in, they'll add characters to the pool. Like for instance, if you go down to some of these lower ones, take a look at that. This doesn't have as big of a pool. So definitely the way to go there. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about as far as picking up memories, grinding out memories, making sure that you're getting those. Again, going back to the topic from before, these dungeons here are going to be the ones that you will want to get those shards from so that you can unlock those generic, well, not generic, but might as well be. You're never going to use these characters anyway. To get those AS memories out of those various shops that we showed you before in the exchange. So that's another way to do it. Another way, and something that a lot of people I don't think necessarily did because at the time they were really hype for this character, but if there's ever an event going on where you can craft a Fest memory for a specific character, like most recently we had Halloween Chris, you can go ahead and craft those. I bank those. You might have seen in my bank, I actually have several of them, and I'm probably never going to use them for him because now that I have Dellons, I mean, why bother? But that's how I have these here. It wasn't from the roulette. It was from crafting them multiple times in kind of preparation for the fact that if we did get a collab, I would have a few extra memories laying around. That and purple memories for specific fighters can sometimes be a little tough to get to. Even my generic purples are a little bit tough. So that your mileage may vary on that one. Some people have more generic memories of certain colors than others. Like for me personally, I have, for instance, a ton of the blue ones for whatever reason. So again, your mileage may vary, but that is another way of going about getting memories so that you can go in and combine and get the most out of your memories. So that is pretty much the main points that I wanted to talk about. There's a few other things in here that are kind of miscellaneous because you can get memories in a lot of different ways. Another way is to do this ad once a day up here, and you'll be able to get a couple of tickets to summon out of the generic pool. You're not going to be able to get Fest Fighters out of those tickets, but at least you'll be able to get something. So that's that. Beyond that, there really isn't anything else I believe I want to show you guys on this. Those are the key points. Of course, there's going to be other ways that you can get memories, but really it just comes down to grinding through and getting these different resources so that you can go in and get these memories so that you can go in and exchange them. So let's see here. So you'll see if we go into Dimension Exchange, for instance, it's going to cost you 3 purple memories in order to make, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to show you. So it's going to cost you 3 of any Fest Fighters memory in order to get these envelopes. So one thing I really want to stress about this, and the reason I'm bringing this up now, is you'll notice I have extra memories for Pretty Zero, I have extra Nameless memory, I also have an extra couple Gonitz memories, and the reason for that is those I don't even consider in my bank. I'm saving those. And this is a point that I want to make. This isn't just pertaining like the rest of this video, mainly to beginner and intermediate players. This pertains to everyone. Doesn't matter if you've got these characters maxed out like I do or not. Hold on to the extra memories for these characters. As much as it pains me to say it, and I'm not going to get too thick into the weeds with this because there's going to be an entire video on this topic in the future, probably for my year-end What to Expect in 2021 from King of Fighters All-Star video. Awaken level 10 is a thing, and it's going to happen.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Yes, I know. When none of us want it, everybody's dreading it. Me included. I'm not excited for it, but it's probably going to happen. It's already in the data. We've already seen kind of teases, not so much leaks, but you know, there are things out there in the ether that make us aware of it, and so it's probably going to happen. Therefore, any of these majorly meta characters, these characters that you rely on for PvE purposes, like the Pretty Zeros, the Namelesses, the Gonitz, I'm holding on to their memories. I don't want to get rid of them. I'm saving them. I recommend that you guys do so as well. I would even go so far as to say if they show up in your Hall of Elements exchange, pick them up. You'll want to have those in the future. So that's just something that I think anybody can benefit from and thinking about, because I do know that that is going to happen eventually, and that would be a good way that you will be able to have some of those kind of waiting in the wings so that you can kind of immediately awaken your maxed out characters to the next tier. From there, it's probably going to be quite the grind to get XP capsules and so on and so forth. But again, we're not going to get super deep into that, but I did want to make sure I brought that up because I do know that there are people out there who have not thought about this or may be blissfully ignorant to the fact that we may be getting that. I definitely wish I were you. I don't want it. I wish I didn't even know about it. I wish it wasn't out there, but it's a thing. So that is pretty much going to be your memory guide. I don't think that there's anything else pressing in here that we necessarily need to talk about. You know, if there's another mode that opens up or there's any other little things that open up that give you memories, I always recommend trying to get them, whether they're bronze, silver, or gold, it doesn't matter. It's worth having them because those can eventually be converted into purple memories, whether they're generic or they're for a specific fighter if you're lucky enough. So that's pretty much going to be the guide. So you guys can, in the comments below, if there are any other ways that you like to get memories and to farm your memories, you may do so in the comments. Let us know. But otherwise, that is pretty much the topic that I wanted to cover today. The next time you guys talk to me, it will probably be for the big review for Eileene. I have got it mostly done, and I am kind of in the not so much final stages of editing, but getting close. So you guys will be seeing that video on Sunday. As always, the big review is going to be the last video of every week. So look forward to that. Again, you guys, I greatly appreciate all of you watching these videos. Again, if you haven't done so, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.